Hello and welcome. Today we are going to talk about a framework that is, and I mean this, truly changing the game for educators of adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities. It's called Universal Design for Learning, or UDL. So let's just dive right in and see how you can use this incredible approach to really unlock the potential of every single learner you work with. You know, this quote right here? This is it. This is the heart and soul of UDL. It's a total mindset shift. For so long, education has been about trying to fix the learner when they struggle. UDL completely flips that script. It tells us to look at the learning environment, the lesson, the materials, the classroom, and ask, how can we fix this to support the learner? It's a game changer. So let's just sit with that question for a second. What if the curriculum, the materials we use, the way we ask people to show what they know, what if those are the actual roadblocks? The whole idea behind UDL is that the barrier isn't in the person, it's in the inflexible design of the world around them. And UDL gives us a blueprint to proactively tear down those barriers for everyone, right from the start.
And this visual just lays it out so clearly. The old way of doing things is reactive, right? A learner hits a wall, so we scramble to retrofit some kind of accommodation, and that can really single them out. UDL is proactive. It starts with the assumption that our adult learners are going to be incredibly diverse, and that's a good thing. So we design the lesson with that variability built right in from the beginning. It's about building a flexible system from the ground up, not patching it later.
So, you might be wondering, where did this idea even come from? Well, let's take a quick step back and see how a concept from the world of buildings and sidewalks sparked a massive revolution in education.
Okay, so here's the formal definition. UDL is an educational framework, and it's actually grounded in cognitive neuroscience, the science of how we learn. Its whole goal is to optimize teaching by getting rid of barriers. The biggest takeaway here is that learner variability isn't some surprise we have to react to. It's totally predictable. UDL just gives us a smart, systematic way to plan for it.
And this right here is the perfect illustration. Curb cuts are the classic example of universal design. They were specifically made for one group, right? Wheelchair users. But who else uses them? Well, everybody. People with strollers, delivery drivers with carts, kids on skateboards. When we design for the folks at the edges, those who might face the most barriers, we almost always end up creating a system that's just better and more flexible for everyone.
All right, so you get the concept, but how do we actually do this? Well, UDL is built on 3 core principles, and they act as our blueprint for designing truly inclusive lessons.
This table breaks it all down beautifully. The 3 principles line up with 3 different brain networks. Engagement is all about the why of learning. It's the emotional, motivational piece. Representation is the what of learning, how we present information in different ways. And action and expression is the how, the different ways learners can show us what they've learned. You put them all together and you've got a complete, robust learning experience.
I absolutely love this metaphor. As the educator, you're the chef. Your goal is non-negotiable. Everyone is going to master the learning objective, or in this case, make a great omelet. But the learners get to choose their own ingredients. They have a say in the tools, the pathways, and the methods they use to reach that goal. This builds a sense of agency and self-determination that is so critical for adult learners.
Okay, theory is great, but let's get practical. Let's move this from an idea into action. What does this actually look like when you walk into your classroom tomorrow? First up is representation, the what of learning. This is all about giving learners multiple ways to take in information. So instead of just relying on one format, you offer options. If you've got a written instruction sheet, could you also maybe record a quick audio version they can listen to, or provide a simple diagram? Could your digital text be magnified or read aloud by a screen reader? The goal is just to make sure the core information gets through to everyone, no matter how they best perceive it.
Next up, engagement, the why. This is really the emotional heart of learning. We can spark that motivation by offering meaningful choices, letting learners pick a topic that interests them or the tools they feel comfortable using. We can make a task feel real and authentic by connecting it to their actual real-world goals. And, so importantly, we can create a safe, supportive space by minimizing distractions and building a real sense of community through collaboration. When learners feel safe and connected, they're ready to learn.
And finally, action and expression, the how. This is all about providing flexible ways for your learners to show you what they know. A written test is just one way, and it might not be the best way for everyone. Could they demonstrate the skill instead? Could they give you a verbal explanation? Could they build a model? One study even highlighted something called assessment yarning, where learners use storytelling to explain what they understand. It's just a powerful reminder that there are so many pathways to show mastery.
Okay, I know what you might be thinking. This all sounds great, but it also sounds like a lot. You might be asking, do I have to totally redesign my entire curriculum overnight? And the answer is a huge resounding no. Absolutely not. The best way to start is with one small, manageable change.
This is called the +1 approach, and it's brilliant because it's so simple. First, just find a friction point. Think about your class. Where do your learners consistently get stuck or frustrated? Then, just ask yourself this one question. What is one more way? One more way to explain this idea. One more way for them to practice the skill. One more way for them to show me they get it. And then just add that one thing. That's it. Start there, see how it goes, and build that momentum over time.
And you know, when we start to consistently apply these principles, something really amazing happens. We start to move beyond just providing access to the material. We begin to build a true culture of belonging in our classrooms.
And that culture of belonging makes something incredibly important possible: the dignity of risk. So often, out of a desire to help, we try to protect adults with IDD from ever failing. But think about it. Real learning requires the chance to try, to maybe mess up, and to try again. UDL creates the necessary scaffolding, the supports and options that allow learners to take those meaningful risks in a safe environment. And that is what fosters true resilience and self-determination.
So I'm going to leave you with this final thought. As you think about your own practice, what's the +1 you can add? What is that one small, proactive change you can make tomorrow to open one more door for one more learner and take one more step toward creating an environment where every single person not only has access, but truly feels like they belong?